Hey YouTubers, so this is my video on my new piercing. As you can probably see, it's Septum. I had it done today, about 2 o'clock this afternoon-ish, just before, and had it done in a different place to what I normally go to. I was quite pleased with it though. They're very nice. It was a man piercing this time, and I don't usually let men do piercings and that. It was my first time having it done in that place and having a man do it. It was £25. In the place I normally go, it was 40, which the standard nose piercing is only 19. So why it's 40? They use a different needle, obviously, and a different jewellery, but I don't think 40 is really a very appropriate price. So, yeah, I got it done with this circular horseshoe bar. It's far too big for my face. Look, it hangs right down to there. Far too big. To be honest, I'm going to go next week into the shops at some point and buy a downsize and stick a really short one in. I'll buy a bar as well so I can put that through, so I can hide it. Obviously this is too big, and I've just had it done a few hours ago, so I'm not, well, I couldn't flip it up if I tried, because it's just too big. You see it? Yeah. Tilt my head down a bit. Yeah, it's huge. I didn't want a big one, but this was like the smallest. He was like, that's the smallest one. I was like, oh. And basically I got it. The actual piercing of it was horrendous. It wasn't painful. A lot of people say it is, but it's not. The problem with it is that my sweet spot is too far back, because I only have a very little nose. My sweet spot is really far back, and when he clamped it, he was clamping it and holding it, and he obviously realised it was a cartilage he was having to do, so he clamped it, and as he tried to go through it, his hand was literally shaking and straining against it, trying to push it through it, and when it went through, it hit the bar, it hit the top of the forceps, and of course he couldn't get it through, and he was struggling to get through it. I could feel the needle going right through it. I could feel it at every single point it was piercing through, and he just had to take it out. And my nose started streaming with blood, my eyes were streaming out of water, and I felt horrible. I felt like I could just cry my eyes out and screaming. I felt terrible. Basically, I knocked off all the blood, and he helped me in that. Waited a few minutes, and then we went again, and it was awful. There was blood all over everything. It bled so much. I've never seen that much blood in my life. And eventually he got it through the second time. It took us like 20 minutes to get it through. It was awful. Obviously you don't know if you've got a sweet spot. Everyone's got one, but it depends on how far back it is. If it's really far back, you ain't gonna be able to get through it. It needs to be just about that far into your nose, or else they're gonna be going through cartilage, and it's not like ear cartilage, believe me. It is extremely painful to go through. It feels like it's not painful, but it's sensitive, and it's like it shocks your face, and it's like just terrible feeling. It's like painful, terrible, but it's not painful, if you get what I mean. It just, oh my god, it bled so much. I'm not joking. And afterwards, the man was like, it's just your adrenaline. I was so hot, I was on fire, my skin was boiling. I felt so sick. I had to go and sit down outside, and he sat on me for a bit, then I was alright, and I went, oh my god, it was terrible. And then around 6 o'clock it started bleeding again randomly, and then it bled a little while ago. I can feel it sort of a bit bleeding a little bit on the inside now, but not a lot, so it doesn't really hurt, it doesn't sting, nothing. It just feels like I don't know, it just feels a bit like you've been, when you get cold, you've been rubbing your nose with tissue a bit too much, a bit stingy. It feels a bit like that, but it's not bothering, because like nose, what I like about them is when you breathe in the air in and out of it, and it helps keep it cool, and it helps like keep it calm. So next week I'm going to downsize it. I would recommend this to people, but like obviously watch out because everyone's different. If it's going through cartilage, it's not going to feel good. If it's going through a sweet spot, it's still not going to feel good. But obviously the cartilage, people who have very low pain thresholds are not going to be able to handle that. It didn't bother me, but I have like an extremely high pain threshold, and I put up with it and I was fine. I just wanted it in and that was it. I was just like, just do it, come on, let's just get this done. And the man was struggling. He was like, it's just thick, hard gristle lined with really thick, hard cartilage, and it's just terrible. He was like, it's awful. And he's like, I feel sorry for you. And I was like, yeah, it's not my fault. It's not his fault. He did it though, and I went through with it, and everything was fine. I'm quite pleased with it. I'll be even more pleased with it when I downsize it, because at the moment it's just far too big. So you're going to leave a comment to me and let me know your opinions on this thing, whether you like it or not. I know a lot of people don't like it. You can see my nose, it's gone all oily. Every time you get a nose piercing, it makes your skin so oily. It's like shiny. And it's swollen a bit as well. You can probably see that, shiny and swollen, nice. Let me know what you think of it. Obviously don't change it the day you get it. Don't flip it the day you get it. Don't fiddle around with it with dirty hands or anything. Don't go out and go on the worst and then try touching it. So it's going to make it quite bad. And it could infect it with all sorts of things, and you don't want that. It seems alright, it seems quite happy in there. Just gotta wait. I'll have to update it in a couple of days and see how it is, and then I'll do it again when I change it, see what it's got. Look how shiny my nose is, it's just oily, it's like terrible. So that's knocking my nose about, and that didn't bother it. The thing is, my upper lip feels like I've got a really bad cold sore right on the top of the line of it there. And it's really horrible, and it feels swollen, but it's not swollen. It just feels horrible. So unless if you want it, obviously go for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for body piercings. Go for it. You want it, go for it. Don't be like, oh, is it gonna hurt me? Because a lot of people just ask, is it gonna hurt? Will I be in pain? Is it gonna bleed? Everyone's different. I used to talk with someone who's got 18 piercings, a very high pain threshold, and it does not bother me. I love it. If you've got a low pain threshold, you're a very nervous person, you're frightened of needles, you're going to be upset. It is probably, the more nervous you are, the more it's going to hurt. Your adrenaline will be going, and your body, your heart will be going. Once your heart starts beating, it beats too fast. If your blood's going too fast, it's going to be painful, and it's more likely to bleed. Don't put ice on it to numb it, because if it's cartilage, it won't go through then. This was just a normal one. Sitting as I am now, it was just like clamping it, piercing it, and it was so difficult to go through. Yeah. But if you've got a very low pain threshold, you're nervous, you're frightened of needles, you're a bit unsure of it, and that, or you've had problems with piercing in the past, I wouldn't recommend this unless you really wanted it. It's going to be fine, don't worry, you'll get it done, it'll be done and it'll be over with, and you'll be home for dinner. That's how you just think of it. It's not going to take forever. You're not going to be in surgery or anything. So, well, let me know what you think of it, and I'm going to update my industrial now. So I'll see you guys later.